Welcome to my channel. My name is Casey Charnomsky, and we're here discussing technological advancements now, the near future, the far future, and these advancements are ranging all over the board from biotech to nanotech, artificial intelligence and robotics, additive manufacturing. All these industries are going to be revolutionizing at exponential rates, and they are right now, and they're going to be affecting all of us on a day-to-day on our day-to-day lives. We're here to talk about it. We're here to talk about how they're affecting us individually and how they're going to affect the whole world once these things are out and released into the public and for people to be able to use. Welcome to the channel, and I'm looking forward to these discussions with you. The lawsuits to slow or stop the AI revolution has begun. They're not in full swing, but we are just seeing the beginning salvo in the battle. Last time I reported on what was going on with the lawsuit between the class action group and digital image creation, different digital image creation AI studios. And I went over the lawsuit, read through it a little bit, and gave my brief synopsis on it. Brief being probably what, half hour, 45 minutes. Anyway, I'll try to keep this video a little more short. The lawsuits that are being discussed today are going to uh, be regarding Microsoft, GitHub, and OpenAI, and their petition to throw out part of the copyright lawsuit against them, as well as the do not pay possibility of AI representing or giving advice to somebody in traffic court. Uh, I'll go over both of those uh, topics, and I will link those articles below. To get a basic understanding of what AI is, you need to understand what the definition of it is, of how I'm discussing it. AI is the simulation of human intelligence in a machine. There's two forms. There's weak, which is very narrow focus, and you can only do one or two different subjects very well, to the equivalent of a human being or around there or better. And then there's also strong AI, which has a wider reach of abilities and can ultimately lead towards artificial general intelligence, or AGI, which is basically having a human in front of you that you can't tell the difference between you and that person, or not you and that person, but you and another person standing in front of you. Those two forms of AI cover a large range of AI, and there's a lot to discuss as far as there's a gray area between them, and there's also extremes at the far edges of both. What my my ultimate goal of this video is to explain that this lawsuit, kind of war between AI companies and other groups, is a very complex issue, and it raises a lot of questions about the accountability and responsibility of AI systems, the ethical implications of their use, and the future of technology in society. Here is the first article. It's on The Verge. It's called Microsoft, GitHub, and OpenAI Ask Court to Throw Out AI Copyright Lawsuit. It goes on to say the three companies want to dismiss a complaint that alleges that AI powered Copilot relies on software piracy on an unprecedented scale. Here it says they want to dismiss the proposed class action complaint that accuses their companies of scraping licensed code to build GitHub's AI powered Copilot tool, as reported earlier by Reuters. Pair of filings submitted to San Francisco court on Thursday. Launched in 2021, Copilot offers generates suggest lines of code directly within a programmer's code editor, trained on publicly available code from GitHub. A programmer and lawyer teamed up with a legal team and proposed a class action lawsuit in November, alleging that the tool relies on software piracy on an unprecedented scale. They've also filed a second class action lawsuit on behalf of two anonymous software developers. And this lawsuit by the anonymous software developers is the one that Microsoft, GitHub, and OpenAI want dismissed. They are claiming lack of injury and lack of an otherwise viable claim. Alleged grab bag of claims, pleading violations of failed to plead violations of cognizable legal rights. The plaintiffs are relying on hypothetical events according to the companies, and they don't describe how they were personally harmed by the tool. All right, so right here is the nitty gritty of it. Copilot withdraws nothing from the body of open source code available to the public. So Microsoft GitHub, they've explained that the code that's being used is not copyrighted. Anybody can use that code still. It's still available for everybody to use according to the code available to the public. It's still there for everyone to use. It's not been retracted. It's not been confiscated and put under lock and key. It's still open source code. They say that Copilot helps the developers write code by generating suggestions based on what it has learned from the entire body of knowledge gleaned from the public code. So what they're saying is the code that is in claim as being improperly used has gone through a system of filters of their AI system learning in figuring out which systems are the best systems to use, and that code was an effective system to use for the purpose they were going to use it for. And so number one, the companies and the groups make in the lawsuit are threatening the lawsuit. Uh, they haven't lost any money because they're not making money off of it. Uh, it's open source code and it's open to be used by other people according to the law. And so that's the claim. And it says here that it will finish the hearing to dismiss will take place in May, and the law firms did not immediately respond. It says there's a lot of other companies looking into AI, which we are aware. There are a lot of other companies looking into AI using text to speech, speech to text, reversed. They're doing a large variety of image and video, which our video will be hitting the market very, very shortly, if not in some rudimentary forms already has. So that is where this lawsuit stands at the moment. They're claiming that the source code is open source, that they haven't retracted it from use for other people to use using under open source law, and that there has been no damage done because the code is open source and usable by anybody, manipulatable by anybody for their own purposes, as long as they give proper reference to where they got it and the list of that is available. All right, there's that one. And now we'll move on to the next one. This one is on Jalopnik. I'll provide the links for both of these articles on my on my description below. What happened when a startup tried to bring an AI chatbot to traffic court? This is by Steve De Silva. Sorry, the last what article was by Emma Roth on January 28th. This article is by Steve De Silva, published Thursday at 1:20 p.m. is what it says here. Now, what happened when a startup tried to bring an AI chatbot to traffic court? Do Not Pay claimed its GPT-powered chatbot could successfully argue a traffic case. Attorneys weren't so sure. Now, Do Not Pay is a company that has an app. They give advice on how to fight parking tickets effectively, negotiate cable bills. They offer a subscription based service and automate those tasks so that you don't have to deal with any of that, but you can get things reduced. The company offered a challenge of $1 million to anyone willing to let its chatbot argue a case before the U.S. Supreme Court. It is not developed to the point where it has the capability of being in Supreme Court, but they're offering $1 million, basically a prize for the first person to do it. There has been others willing to let the chatbot represent them or give them advice in court, and they petitioned the company, and the company scheduled to do a defense, to assist in a defense for a traffic violation. It said they had 300 different companies, not companies, 300 different individuals, where they went through the different possibilities of what would be the most winnable case in the jurisdiction where it would be legally allowed to have having a Bluetooth device in the ear or bone conduction eyeglasses to help carry the audio and be able to communicate with a chatbot in real time while in court. Now, it's right here. It says it's difficult to tell whether the experiment will be legal. They wanted to try to keep it quiet as much as possible to avoid tipping off the judge. They didn't want to make the judge aware that one of the lawyers was an AI, not lawyer, but one of the defendants was being assisted by an AI. And it says here in the article, they spoke with a couple of lawyers in traffic law, and neither could tell what would be allowed because it all depended on jurisdictions, basically. It says Do Not Pay's credit. The company appears to have audited the viability. They looked up the 300 cases, as I mentioned, and they tried to make sure that it was legal and that they had a winnable case. Let's see here. You can read along with me, or you can also you can go into the description below, and I will have links in the description below for these articles. They say here that the use of AI is not outright illegal, but it's enough of a gray area that Bowder, that his concerns over a 6-month stint in jail might be warranted. So he decided that he would retract the offer to do this case because he did not want to risk jail time for illegally representing an attorney in court. And it seems that that was something that was brought to his attention by other legal means. It says, let's see here. The AI would need to go through certain processes before the court date, and it wouldn't be able to be a protracted legal battle. Just a simple motion to dismiss. It says here, it's unlikely an AI could successfully argue the sort of case we all come to know from movies and TV. At this point, I would say GPT-3 is no Rafael Barba or Vincent Gambini, but it's unclear whether any machine learning algorithm could ever perfect the human elements of going to court. That's just that's wishful thinking, is what that is. Let's see here. It says here that at the very end, the experiment has been canceled. It's unlikely we'll ever truly know the outside capabilities of Do Not Pay's AI. Well, I disagree with that conclusion right there. It's a good chance that we will eventually when it's legally allowed for sure. Unless, of course, cancellation is a misdirect. And when asked about this misdirect option, Browder said no comment. So no comment means no comment, but we'll see how long it takes before something like that actually does occur. There's going to be a lot of things that we need to discuss, and the more we talk about it from more angles that we can accumulate knowledge and approach it from, the more prepared we'll be when things start happening more quickly than they even are today.